What's up traders, welcome back to Cornwall in Ontario. I'm here for the weekend and I want to share with you some tips on how I prepare for my backtest. What steps I do, like what do I go through, what checklist do I have for my backtest. And those are things that if you do right, will save you a lot of time in the backtest. Like you won't have to go back and forth or trial and error, or like you pick the wrong method, you have to go back, because you will have set this down properly at the beginning. And you will know how you should do your backtest based on where you are in your trading right now. I'm here in Cornwall because I speak at a conference for the weekend, so it's going to be a pretty cool thing. But I want to share this with you because I think it's going to save you a lot of time and you're going to be able to use it and grow faster and progress faster in trading. So this is a 5-step framework. The first thing you got to do when you want to backtest is you got to define your method. So how are you going to backtest? And there's a couple of different ways. Are you going to do it manually? So fully manual, go on your platform, MetaTrader 4, trading view, and then you just backtest, you go back in time, you backtest. And you just take trades on the screen as if you were there taking trades. Now this is going to be good if you are a beginner, but it's going to take a long time. And it might cause you to take steps that you shouldn't take normally, or it might cause you to kind of force up too much in the chart. Okay, so that could be something to think about and to be careful about. Now this is the kind of simplest method because you have nothing to buy, no software, no tool, just your basic platform, and that's going to do the job and you're going to be able to do a quick backtest. Okay, but it's going to take time. The second option is you want to go into something partly manual. So by that I mean having a software like Forex 3, or I recommend even better Software Effects, which is a plugin for MT4. We'll link both of those below if you want to check them out. You put this in your chart or platform, or you buy the software, and then you're able to backtest and take trades with the past data. So the future data would be hidden, and you would like take trades as if you would take trades normally. Okay, with your stop loss, like profit and everything. You would move the chart forward and you would kind of see the result. And your history would accumulate over time, so you get the result at the end. Some quick stats you can look at. And that's going to make it simpler for you to kind of keep track of your stats and do it in a faster manner. And it's especially good if you want to kind of simulate you trading live and you taking trades in the live market. That's kind of close to it. Okay, pretty close. If you're a beginner as well, that method is pretty good. Now the third method you can decide to use is automated, and that means you are going to have a script for MT4 or any trading platform, and that script will allow you to backtest your strategy. So you will just code the script first. That's going to take some time. If you're especially a beginner, it's going to be long, but once you have the script, you can just run it and it's going to take trades and you can backtest anything you want. So that's a pretty cool way to do it. Best way I found to do it quickly, so if you have like a few minutes or just even an hour to kind of backtest something quick, then do this. It's going to be simple, it's going to be fast, efficient. But again, if you're not a coder, that's going to be tougher. And if you're a very beginner in trading and like you don't know what your setup looks like, or you're not sure you can spot the setup properly, then don't do this. That's going to be really tough to practice yourself to spot the setup. And when you come to trade live later, you might kind of miss setup because you didn't spot them right. So you want to be careful with this. This is going to become a point for later. Like you want to backtest automatically later to save time. But in the very beginning, keep in mind that this won't be your best option. Okay? Now, again, the fourth part is something that I started to do recently, and this works pretty well. Kind of a new idea for me, but it's to outsource your backtest. So instead of backtesting everything yourself, why not give it to someone else that can do the backtest for you? And they might be a good trader, they might be able to backtest. This works well if you have like a very clear setup you're looking for, you know your setup because you've been quite experienced in the market. But you just don't have time to go through the backtest. So like you don't want to do this yourself. You have other things to take care of, other high reward activities, and that means that you won't have to sit down at the chart and do a backtest for a few hours. So you give it to someone else, tell that person to backtest, give you the result, and you kind of have to trust them, of course, that they will give you the right result. And that is something I've been doing so far for some time, kind of having someone do the backtest for me, or at least testing ideas for me, and then I can look at the results, see if I like them or not, and use them if I feel like using them. Okay, so kind of a quick tip for that. But again, don't like just go give it back to someone else if you're starting out. Don't do this. It's gonna be wrong. It's gonna be not the best idea ever. So you want to avoid this to start with. Okay. Now once you've defined that, so your method to backtest, pick a pair that it's gonna be likely to work, and you're gonna do your backtest on that pair solely for now. So if you're trading something that's gonna be like a breakout, pick a pair that's likely to break out in the Asian session. Or if you're gonna trade a reversal, pick a pair that's gonna be likely to do a reversal. Or if you've seen in the chart like some pairs reverse a lot and they always like go back in sideways market, pick a pair like this to backtest. Because what's really bad is you backtest, you get your result for a pair you decided to backtest, but the results are bad. So what do? Well, like you kind of screwed, right? So you want to be able to pick a pair that's likely to work and use that pair to backtest to do your result, okay? And if it does work, you might want to change, of course, but most often than not, it's going to work pretty well if you think it's going to work well. And that's when a coach can tell you like what pairs is supposed to work for that strategy that you backtest. And having a coach along your side for this process can be way simpler, okay? So I always pick a pair that I know based on my past history has worked well for that kind of strategy or that kind of setup, or a pair that I think will work best based on how it behaves for that backtest, okay? And then I'll just backtest, do the work, and the results are usually what they are supposed to be, pretty good, okay? With some exception, of course. Now the third step is along with step number 2. Create a plan that you commit to backtest. Only one plan that you commit to backtest, because people are going to find plan, they're going to do the backtest a little bit, find that the results are not as good as they wanted to have, and then they will drop the plan or modify, tweak it a little bit, and do the backtest again. But they forget that they need to kind of do the work properly, backtest the whole thing properly first, get some data for like 5-10 years, and then use these results to make a decision on that backtest. And then, only then, kind of tweak it. And even before that, you might want to try on different pairs, see if it works on other pairs that you backtest. So you want to create one plan, do it until you get the end result. Like take a step back and then look at your result. And then think about whether that's going to be good or not for you. Okay, so just something to do that's going to work really well. It's always better to have an end result than just like beginning of things that don't produce any result at the end. Okay. Now the fourth part is you want to of course analyze the result. We talked about this before. You want to go back on the result, see what is your win rate, what is your reward to risk, and then think about how you can improve them if they're not good. If they're good, then keep them, but if they're not good, if they're like really low, or if the graph you see is like really kind of messy, then think about how you can improve that, how you can cut some trades perhaps. Then even go back on all the trades that Algo took or you took in the backtest, and then look at those trades and think about how can you reduce some, how can you maybe take some that you didn't take. And then brainstorm ideas on a sheet of paper, on a journal that you have next to you, which you should always have, of course. And then on that journal, write down some ideas of what you can backtest. And then do them one by one. Again, a plan you do, test it out, see if it works, and then do it again with all these ideas. And I would be surprised by the end of the day, if you've done this right, that you don't have anything that works. You don't have any backtest that's been profitable. Because you have all these ideas, all these things you can modify, and you've been trying them out, you've been testing them out, you've been seeing the result, and that's much better than people that just start a backtest and never finish it, okay? Now, if you don't have the result you want, I would suggest getting a coach for that, that's going to be able to guide you and show you the right path, but in most cases, you can do it yourself. So I recommend you test it out first yourself, and if it doesn't work, then get a coach, perhaps, if you really want to take things to another level, okay? And on the fifth part, as we said, is to review all the trades. Do this every time you do a backtest. Every time you have a month that's ending, you want to review your trades, see what results you have, and go back on them. What you can find, what commonalities they have, what things are different, and make a plan to improve the next month, or the next quarter, or whatever you decide. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Those are the 5 parts to preparing your backtest. What I do to prepare myself my backtests when I do them. And you can go through this, apply this yourself, think about this process and go through it. If you've done something similar in the past, comment below with it. I want to know for sure in the comment section. Here are a few comments from the past video. I appreciate you guys always leaving comments in the comment section. Subscribe if it's not done yet. And I'll catch you back for another video tomorrow. Ciao.